Today we are going to know how to build this.
Or this.
It's basically a snow house.
But let's see how to build it.
How much snow do we need?
This much.
First off, make them big enough. Leave 3 or 4 inches on either side of you so that you don't end up snuggled up against the wall of the cave. That'll make you really cold. Make it tall enough as well. You want to at least be able to sit up in it. It'll make it a lot less claustrophobic. It'll make it easier to get in and out of. It makes a huge difference. You also want to leave enough length so that you have about 24 inches more tunnel than you are tall. That way you don't have your head sticking out and you don't have your feet up against the ice. Safety is also an important issue. You don't want your snow cave collapsing on you in the middle of the night. So choosing the right type of snow makes a huge difference. You don't want light powdery snow. You want snow that's going to stick together or that's frozen together, has lots of layers of ice in it. And this is what we got here today. Additionally, you want to have a lot of snow between the surface and the roof of your snow cave, and you want that snow to be the best type of snow. Going and stomping down the snow before you start digging or throwing the excavated snow on top of your tunnel as you dig will really help. But remember, snow caves are only a temporary structure. Even the best snow cave will collapse after 3 or 4 days because that snow just naturally starts to sag down. But if you're doing it just one night, your biggest danger is having people or animals step on the roof of your cave and collapse it. I've seen this happen twice.
You may ask, why are we making this video?
It's because he asked it. Without any delay, let's start the building. Hope you will like it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
little shelter. I'll tell you what, that is a beautiful. I've got room to sit down, cook, sleep. This is perfect. And it only took me 4 hours to make this thing, which is a lot less time than some of my other snow shelters.
Oh, it smells so good. A beautiful chicken mango curry. That was good.
I'll tell you what, this is just one of the best snow shelters I've ever made. There's a couple key features that are really important to keeping you warm. First off, you don't want your sleeping area to be the lowest point in the shelter. The cold air tends to collect at the bottom. Another thing is you want to make sure your snow shelter has lots of corners. You don't want to allow the wind to blow straight into your snow shelter. Additionally, when you do have a corner, make a little extra room so when the wind comes down, it goes past the door instead of being funneled into the door. Likewise, on this end, I've got two entrances so that if the wind blows crosswise, the wind continues through the shelter instead of getting funneled down into the shelter. But I'm gonna get a chance to really test this shelter out. It's supposed to be a pretty good snowstorm tonight. We'll see what happens. It'll freeze really good tonight. Then my stairs won't fall apart. The type and quality of the snow really affects how much energy it takes to build one of these shelters. This was really easy stuff to work with, so things went really fast. I moved a lot of snow in just 4 hours. The inside of this shelter is about 5 feet wide, and the roof is a little bit over 6 feet tall. So the very back of the shelter to the mouth is 11 feet. I had to move about 230 cubic feet of snow to excavate this part of the shelter. So at the bottom of the entrance to the top of the snow berm, it's a little over 10 feet deep. But the original surface of the snow was about 8.5 feet deep. The distance from here at the top of the stairs to the back of that wall is about 17 feet. Plus there's this little bit I excavated right here. So my rough estimate is that I had to move about 423 cubic feet of snow to build this shelter. A little over 15.5 cubic yards. That's the max capacity of a commercial dump truck. But tomorrow I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to see what it takes to make this tunnel collapse. I know a lot of people have wondered whether or not these snow caves will fall down on you. And honestly, I don't know. We'll test that out tomorrow. The roof is sagged a little bit. It's about an inch or two shorter. I'm having to hunch over a lot more than I did last night. Snow caves will actually do that. They'll sag quite a bit over time. If you're going to use them for more than one day, often you have to re-dig out the roof. If you're a bit claustrophobic, it can make it hard to sleep at night knowing that the roof is slowly sagging over your face. It's a proper little snowstorm up here. It is really snowing. All of this fresh snow is going to make the avalanche danger go through the roof. Luckily, we're not in any avalanche zones, so we'll be okay. Above the ceiling right here, the snow's pretty thick, but yesterday I could see light shining through in that corner of the cave, which means there's less than 2 feet of snow between the ceiling and the surface of the snow. You can kind of see what I mean right here. There's this blue color. That's light shining through the snow right here. You can see that's about 2 feet of snow. So I'm really curious to see whether this roof can stand up to 200 pounds of me jumping up and down on it. I couldn't feel any movement. Yeah, I mean, it looks perfectly fine from here. Well, this one hasn't collapsed yet, but all snow caves collapse eventually. All right, I think it's time to get out of here. Oh, look how deep this snow is. Even with my snowshoes, it's going up to my kneecap. There's probably 2.5 feet of fresh snow since yesterday. I got a sneaky suspicion that my car might be very stuck when I find it. I've seen this happen twice, once with a moose. When I was a kid, our Boy Scout troop had dug a whole bunch of snow caves, and a moose wandered through our camp in the middle of the night, not realizing that there was boys underneath the snow. And one of the kids woke up with a moose hoof just going whoop, right past his head. And of course he screamed, and that freaked the moose out, and the moose started jumping around, and then it collapsed the roof of his snow cave. Now, luckily everyone was okay. He didn't get stepped on. You know, he just had a really cold night though, because his snow cave collapsed and he didn't have a snow cave anymore. But at any rate, that's kind of the big tips about building snow caves. And on that note,